Hey everyone, I'm here with Becky. She's one of my favorite people. She is so happy and positive pretty much all the time. And we were just talking the other day, and she was sharing some concerns, or that she had some concerns about kind of the things that are going on right now. And I figured if she does, everybody does, because that's not her nature. So I thought it might be fun just to kind of work through some of those and give you an idea of how I coach and my coaching style. So we're just going to do a little short session and see if we can maybe work through some of those concerns or feelings that Becky's having. So,
Thanks, Hyde. Um, so I guess with everything going on, one of my biggest concerns is this the end of the world?
okay, well, that's a
I mean, just that.
okay. Well, do you so I feel like that might be what a lot of people might be feeling. Like this is something that is unprecedented. We haven't had an experience like this before in our lifetime. And but I think if you look back to maybe like I think it was the 1918s when they had a flu pandemic, I think they probably felt the same way. Don't you think?
Yeah.
They probably felt that same way, and pretty much throughout history, anytime there was a global event or a huge event, people felt that same feeling. So I think just knowing you're not alone in that, like that is something that people have felt for a long time. Like, is this it for us?
It's hard because I feel inundated with social media is telling me things and the news is telling me things and my friends are telling me things and I feel like I can never get out of it. It's always just right there in front of my face.
Yeah,
And I wonder if maybe they didn't have to deal with that as much.
it's true. They weren't seeing.
They were waiting for the horsemen to tell them the news.
Right. So that's probably a big key right there, is being able to unplug a little bit from all the information, because we know that's sort of a part of our day is information overload, right?
Right.
So if you can step back from that a little bit, and what I feel like is really our biggest key is to tap inside to our own intelligence, to our own kind of soul intelligence, and to be able to really find those answers for ourselves. So I want you just to, if you're willing, just kind of close your eyes for a minute and go inside into your own heart and just sort of open your connection to your higher self, to God or that higher power. And just take a deep, slow breath, because that helps your body to know that you're safe, that you can relax. And then just shift your awareness down into your heart. And as you move into your heart, you're moving in from the place of an observer. So just notice the feelings that are there. And if you can name any of those feelings, what do you see in there? What do you feel in there?
I feel a number of things in there. I feel some courage in there, actually. One of the things that I feel in there, if I'm being honest, is a little bit of shame.
Mm.
And maybe should I explain that more? Or
yeah, maybe.
so before, and I didn't even think about this before we started, but before any of this happened, I felt like my testimony of God and of everything was maybe I was very nonchalant about it, right? Very nonchalant about my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And as things get scarier, I feel like we start to look for things and look for God and look for all of that. And we can see that. And I feel like, so I just feel like one of those people that only believes when things get hard, or Does that make sense? All
Yeah,
those people
which-
you read in the scriptures that
Right, which would be most of humanity. And that's kind of what God says, you know, he allows those things to come in our lives because that's what pulls us back to him. It's just the nature of being human that we drift away from him, especially in the moments when things are best, because we feel the least amount of need.
and I feel bad that I was one of those, and I maybe feel like, well, why would I deserve his protection now or his guidance now?
Mm-hmm. So I want you just to take a minute and think about your kids and to think about if you had been telling them to do something and kind of warning them about things, and then those things happened and they come running to you.
You were supposed to make me cry.
Sorry.
This wasn't part of the deal. Right.
What would your reaction be?
I'd obviously just wrap him up in my arms and love on him.
And if you can do that, you're pretty perfect, but not quite as perfect as God. If you can do that, then you can guarantee that that's how he feels as well. So I want you to just take a minute in your heart and forgive yourself and have some compassion for yourself. Just knowing that we're all children, basically. Like we all are prone to a lot of weakness and foolishness and looking for a lot of things that are shallow, but also we're good and we're loving and we come together in times like this. And you're one of the people that I know that does that the most and that brings your best self to moments like this as well. So just feel that in your heart. Feel yourself being able to kind of let go of the shame. Just take a deep breath into that. And as you let go of that shame, what do you feel it being replaced with?
Strength. Good. And faith.
Perfect. And then I want you to, in your heart, in your higher self, just ask yourself, is this the end of the world? And trying to not go to your head, just go into your heart and into that deeper core of who you are. And I don't know, what do you sense in that? What do you feel in that?
I don't feel like it is.
Yeah. That's the feeling I get too when I really tune in and connect to that deeper place. It's like, I don't think this is the end. I think it could be the beginning of a different era of our history, as the history of our people. But in everything, in every situation, there are people that thrive. And there are people that become so much more from those difficult experiences than they maybe ever would have been. And so I want you just to kind of find in yourself that knowing of who you are and the choice that you want to make. Do you want to thrive?
Yes.
So feel that in your heart, that sense of conviction that you choose to thrive through this experience. And I want you to ask yourself, what would it take for me to thrive in this experience?
Well, I feel like I already have everything it takes. I just have to do. And I just have to take one step after another and just with faith,
Yeah.
But he's already giving me everything that I need.
Yeah. The pieces are already there, right? And I feel like that's true for all of us as well. There's specific maybe purposes for each of us and things for us to learn, lessons and growth and fulfillment of who we are through this experience, or we wouldn't be here at this time. And so I want you just to kind of find in that place too, what is your first step? What's the first thing that you need to do right now?
The word that kind of comes to mind right off the bat is the word listen. So
I like that. So when you think of listen, to me that's almost like an awareness, and it's a tuning out of the noisiness of sort of the chaotic world that we live in, and just like listening to yourself, listening to God, listening to that deeper wisdom and intelligence that you hold, and being able to really follow the guidance that comes from within yourself. Does that feel?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So that is your first step, and it's just really do the thing. Just do what you feel to do. So I want you just to take another deep breath. And as you do that, you're just kind of releasing any residue from those past beliefs and feelings, and you're sealing in this new awareness, this new understanding that you have now of the situation. And you're sealing in your ability to move forward in that and do what you know you need to do. Open your eyes.
Sister. Made me cry on video. Way to go.
It's a cry. It's a special gift. I think whenever we really tap into ourselves, we feel emotion. It's kind of the way it goes. And I think if we can be okay with that, that's where the power lies. Being able to like sink into that, and really, you don't have to go into it so much. It's just observe it and notice it, and sometimes feel it, but you weren't like, sobbing.
Right.
But it's just to acknowledge it, and then to realize too that tears can be a release. There's the chemical makeup of a tear is actually changes based on the emotions you're feeling. So it's an actual release.
Cool.
And so really that to me that's kind of my work in a nutshell, is just to help people kind of get quiet, go inside and find the answers that they have that are there. I didn't really give you answers. You had the answers already.
Right.
It's just creating space for you to really find it. So.
And I did feel when you said certain things, and when I said certain things, it was like everything kind of connected, or like, oh, yeah, of course, So
yeah. Well,
that was great.
Beck.
Thank you.
It takes a lot of courage to be willing to cry on camera. So I appreciate Becky being here, and I appreciate you, and I hope that was helpful to you. And if you are interested in having a free session, I am doing free sessions right now. For Sign up.
Oh, I was saying I'm interested.
High five for you. So if you're interested in that, you can go to my website at SheRiseCenter.com and sign up. They're on there. So thank you.
Do it.